Hank, you're chasing the story of a deadly explosion. Although it happened last year, you've got some exclusive new details. You talked to some of the survivors. What do you got?
Yeah, it's a huge thing, Bill. We do have some exclusive shots to share with you. But let's start with Jim McManaman. He was relaxing at home in Ewing last March 4th, 2014, when a massive gas explosion tore through his house.
And boom, the explosion, as it was, knocked me out of my chair. I don't know how much longer it took me to get up because I was out for a moment. I crawled up the steps and looked to the right, and that side of my house was gone.
14 months later, Bill, he still can't move back in. The explosion leveled nearly a dozen homes, including Jim's, and damaged more than 100 others. And Jim's still trying to recover from the concussion and the PTSD he was diagnosed with after the blast. Says his balance is still wonky, and yet he calls himself lucky.
But I'm alive. Linda, my neighbor, she died instantly, and it's a shame because if the companies had followed the protocol that they require when there's a gas leak, all of us would have been out of our houses.
And, Bill, the State Board of Public Utilities agreed after a full investigation. The BPU slapped PSE&G with a $725,000 fine, and subcontractor Henkels and McCoy was fined $600,000, largest fines of their kind ever levied. And, oh, the lawsuits.
We have to look to the place where we can assure ourselves that if a utility call is made, that it is not going to result in a neighborhood disaster.
Bill, Tom Klein is attorney for the family of Linda Saratelli, the woman who was killed. You can see her here, an exclusive shot of she and her grandsons. Tom's firm's investigation reached the same conclusions as the state's, and he's suing both contractors because he says his client wants to eliminate future negligence.
The tragedy that happened here was 100% avoidable.
Now, both contractors, Bill, say that they're cooperating fully with the BPU's findings. Neither one have commented on the Saratelli lawsuit. Jim McManaman, he says he's assured that he'll be able to move home by November, but he has hired his own attorney, and they're weighing their options as well.
The fines may be astronomical and record-breaking, but in my opinion, they're not high enough because they did not call 911 when there was initially this gas leak, and because of that, a 6-year-old woman has lost her life. 11 homes were completely destroyed and leveled.
Well, your outrage is shared by many people, Sabeel, and that's part of why PSE&G and Henkels and McCoy have both gone along with the BPU's findings and said they're going to amend their protocols. They did have protocols in place at that point that should have had them calling 911, should have had them evacuating people out of the houses. Why those weren't followed, those are why you're getting the fines. Still in the trees after a year. Crime scene. Do not cross.